Back with more sex education. This is episode 5 of season 2. We're entering the second half of this season now, and things are somewhat kicking off. I think it's safe to say that there's a lot of drama. Particularly intrigued with the fact that Maeve told Otis how she feels in the last one. That caused a lot of stuff, and awkwardness with Ola, everything with that. It's a bit messy there. It's messy with Adam and Eric and them kind of reconnecting, but we also have Raheem involved with all that. And then Jackson is also still struggling, I think, with the school play, but he's making a deal to help his tutor out as well. So lots of interesting stories at play, as there always is with the show. And I'm excited to see where it's going to go next. So let's get into the next one.
What's that noise? It's my heart.
Huh? Oh, that's a different person. Oh, hello. Oh my. I know they'd probably want to sit next to each other, but it is interesting. Oh, there's no one sat at the front with Remy. So much drama.
Please come. I want you to see how well I'm doing. Plus, there's free biscuits.
I'm there.
What kind?
Oh, I'd like her to go. Oh, I love custard creams.
Dexter's busy too. Our schedules are very compatible.
Okay, alright.
Sexy.
Well,
Oh, did she buy some more comfortable shoes because she walks now?
Front door's open. I'm making you a new pant shelf.
I'm doing a vagina.
That's like, I've said something really funny. Okay, too much. Maybe I could take your number down, and I can let you know when it comes back in stock.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's me.
Shitting into a plastic bag in the middle of families. That's my biggest regret. Oh.
So much of her pain is my fault. But I also want her to know
Oh man.
that life hasn't been easy for me either. I have ended up in many bad situations in my life.
How's
But I
that
was
gonna
just doing
go
the best that I
down?
could with the tools I had at the time.
It's probably not a great thing to do that in front of a group of people.
That wasn't an apology.
You don't laugh much, do you? Always so serious, man. To the face department, is that your shtick?
What's this for?
He's been not very funny, mate.
My brother and I, we teach this class once a week.
I can assure you, vaginal pleasure does not diminish with age or lack of contact. In fact, there are many ways.
I want to shield her from the world.
I kissed Remy.
Oh, we went there. Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't keep it for too long. Take down the shelf, yeah. So, vaginas.
Just getting my bearings.
You're gonna die in the woods.
Do you think it means something if I'm having sex dreams about girls?
I don't know.
I like that she's being so open with him, considering they don't really know each other that well. She must have kind of a good opinion of him.
Junkies are the worst.
She's been clean for 2 years.
Yeah, well, we've all heard that one before.
You don't know me. Or my mum.
I can't decide if this guy's
Sorry, maybe your mum's different.
just up for a laugh or an arsehole.
Nothing. Once an addict, always an addict.
You're a real dick, you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that too.
I'm a pansexual, apparently.
What, like?
Oh.
Fucking pots and pans?
For God's sake.
It's about the connection you have with a human being, not with their genitalia. Huh.
Her and Lily do have a really nice
That
bond.
makes sense, actually.
Are you sure everything's okay? I just feel like you've been acting a bit strange since what happened with the bus. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, she did
I'm fine,
tell him.
Steve.
I do. The show tackles lots of things really well anyway, but I like that they tackle, you know,
And you will
older women as well, and like what they go through.
Guys like you never see girls like me. All your conquests look like they've been made in a lab. It's transparent.
I'd really like to meet you,
I think you should tell your mum that you're in a school play. She'll be really proud.
Sorry, you just give me a compliment just then.
Thank you for today.
That's right.
Bye.
Do I like these two? I feel like I might.
I see a girl that gave Dex her number.
See you later.
They are wholesome as fuck.
We are not lost.
We just don't know where we're going.
Why don't we get a hotel?
No, we're not getting a fucking hotel!
Hey, rooms, please. Janine.
Come on.
I want a divorce.
Oh, good for you.
Do someone else for me, please. Haven't got one like this, so.
Oh, I really hope they kind of get back on track.
He bullied you.
For years, Eric, he's a horrible person.
Yeah, but people can change.
If he's changed, then why is he making you sneak around at night?
It's romantic.
I don't think he's comfortable with himself yet.
You're too busy pretending to have feelings for your girlfriend when everyone knows that you're actually in love with me.
Delilah has left me for someone else.
Oh.
It's okay. If you want to cry, Otis. I mean,
He can't let himself be the vulnerable one, can he? There we go. There we go. Let it out, buddy. I like how... Oh, wow. That was a really good transition. Damn. I was just going to say I really like the lighting in these sequences, and then they made it even more impressive.
You were right after all, G. I couldn't change anything. Yes. I'll give him the message.
Oh. Did he cheat on her?
She had nowhere else to go.
I do think it was weird for him to just be like, I'm here to see our son, because like, that's bullshit.
Could you come downstairs, please?
Just came upstairs, I'm afraid.
I'm divorcing your father. Would you like some mango?
Granny thought he came back to see me this time.
Idiot.
Aww. These two are so great, aren't they? I bet it's bringing back all those old feelings, isn't it? Oh. He doesn't want a relationship to crumble like his dad's did. He's not comfortable around people yet, is he? Well, everyone in that car's fucking miserable. Ah. Well, he has his moments. Run me over with the car.
You know I'm a sex addict, Gene. I'm gonna get help this time. I want to be a good father.
To its children.
Ow.
You don't love me. And I've just realised that I definitely don't love you. I think we got it wrong. I think we're supposed to be friends.
Oh boy. You've just sexed Maeve. Ah!
Different.
Are you breaking up with me?
Yeah. I am.
Oh fuck. You text Maeve. Sorry. Autocorrect.
Don't care.
Yeah, that's the big difference, isn't it?
I'm gonna kiss you, okay?
I have to go and do homework.
Oh no. Oh, can nothing go right? I know it's a TV show, but can nothing go right? That had all the energy of Drake and Josh when Mindy's like, I love you, and he's like, see you in chemistry!
You don't want me here, Maureen.
In fact, he's just taking it. Probably says a lot, doesn't it? Throw one back and it just has I'm with Raheem written on it. Do you ignore it or do you... Oh, ouch. I feel bad, but I also feel like Eric's not going to get what he needs out of being with Adam right now, and Adam needs to work on himself a bit before that could happen. Ah! Seabright? Alice Seabright? There's nothing bright about this. Okay, as always, another fantastic episode. Lots going on. I'm constantly impressed by how many characters the show can balance in one episode. There's like a lot going on for a lot of different people, but I think they all kind of still get their time in the sun, if you will. They will get a decent amount of screen time related to, you know, how their storylines are playing out. So I liked everything with that. And, you know, the representation and everything gets even more impressive as time goes on. You know, what they did with Ola in this episode and her kind of exploring being pansexual. So I like that they're, you know, exploring that. Even to an extent Remy as well, and the fact that he's a sex addict. You know, it's just, they don't shy away from all these different aspects that people can kind of have to deal with, which I think is quite commendable. And I like that they never shy away from doing anything like that. And even, I guess, with Maureen's storyline going on, the fact that they're exploring, you know, an older woman still having sexual needs and stuff like that, because, you know, it's not like that stuff just suddenly goes away the older you get. So I like that they're giving those kind of, I don't want to necessarily say problems or struggles, but, you know, giving that the time of day as well is really impressive. And I like that they are using some of the characters that may not have been as prominent before to, you know, use these stories. Certainly in Maureen's case, because, you know, we didn't get a lot from her in season 1, and I think that's because, you know, the marriage she was trapped in kind of made her small because of her jerky husband. And I loved that she was just like, you know what, fuck this, I can do better, I want a divorce. Love that she stood up for herself finally, and just like him disapproving of her buying some mangoes. I like that that was just the last straw, because it's just so Barbie, but it also feels like very true to life, that eventually something's just going to make you snap and say, you know what, screw this. So I liked that. It was very telling just how much better she deserves, and the fact that, you know, he's not like upset really by it. He was even trying to fight for it all, you know, he wasn't putting any effort in, even after she told him, you know, she wanted a divorce and he's not willing to work on it or anything. So I love that Maureen kind of just stood up for herself there and is continuing to explore herself, quite literally at times. So love everything they're doing with her, and I hope we continue to follow her growth as she frees herself from that marriage that's chained her down for God knows how long. And it'll be interesting to see the shift maybe between Adam and his dad's relationship. If, you know, his parents are getting divorced, I think it's going to change with that. Is he going to, you know, want to rely on Adam a bit more? Is he just going to push him away even further? I have to wait and see, but I like how they're shifting that up, and how Adam might respond to his parents breaking up as well. Is that going to affect him? Because, you know, he would have, I think, otherwise maybe opened up about that to Eric eventually, but now maybe even that's not something he's going to have access to, and that's a whole mess in itself. But yeah, I like what they're doing with Maureen's storyline quite a bit. Just talk about some of the lesser storylines in this particular episode, I suppose. We got a bit more with Amy and the fact that she's like just wearing trainers and stuff because she just does like a 3-hour walk now. She still doesn't want to take the bus, so they're continuing to struggle with that. Really is, you know, it's sad, it breaks my heart. I do like that she told Steve about it. I thought, you know, was she going to just hold that back from him, exactly what happened, but she has told him what happened. And I like that if she's clearly not comfortable with anything they're doing, he backs away straight away, and he's like making sure she's okay, even though she's not far enough, I think, to tell him how much it is affecting her, what she went through. But I think there is room for that honesty there, and he clearly respects her enough to know her boundaries, things like that. So it's good that they're still giving that storyline a bit of time to kind of simmer, and I'm sure it will get directly addressed a bit further on down the line. But for now, it's just her continuing to try and deal with it and cope with it in her own way before she probably needs to get to a point where she wants to seek help for it and finds a way to move forward. But I like that Steve's just not being an arsehole about it. I mean, Steve has never come across as a bad person, so it's not really a surprise. So it's nice that Amy, I think, if she wants the support from him, I think she will get it, but I think just opening up about that, showing that vulnerability is probably a bit difficult. And a lot of characters show, a bit of difficulty being vulnerable. Adam is certainly one of those. Remy in this episode as well. He didn't like coming across as, I think, vulnerable and weak per se. So I liked that quite a bit. And then we have Maeve and the Isaac guy. I don't know if they're trying to set up another love triangle just as one comes to an end with Maeve and Otis, but I don't know. There's something about that guy. I get the impression he has some moments of niceness, but he also is he likes twisting knife and being a bit of a dick sometimes. He knows I think he's very intelligent and knows what buttons to press to get a reaction out of someone. Because I think he just enjoys being noticed. But again, then he's running those classes with his brother, I think, they're brothers, which is a nice thing to do. I feel like sometimes he has these moments of niceness to draw people in, but he also gets a kick out of being quite vindictive and making people feel small. And maybe that comes from a place of insecurity as well. But yeah, I don't think he's a particularly pleasant person, but maybe that's going to be an arc for him, and he's going to, maybe a friendship with Maeve, maybe something more with Maeve. I don't know what they're hinting at. Maybe we'll change that, 'cause maybe he's just, he's gone through some shit like a lot of people have in the show, so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm a bit wary of him. I feel like he's just out to, to get a reaction out of people, and he'll do whatever he takes to get that, whether it's good or bad things. So yes, we had that. And I also liked the stuff with Erin in this one, and her trying to get Maeve to come along to the meeting. It not going quite well. It did kind of almost seem like, I don't know if that was Erin's actual intention when she gave that speech to Maeve, kind of saying, I hope you find to forgive me. It did kind of feel like, does Maeve have to forgive her right now because there's an audience, and it feels like a bit of a pressure, and maybe did Erin purposefully do that? I'd like to think she didn't. She seemed really genuine in this episode about, that the guilt she was feeling and the fact that nothing Maeve can say can make her feel any worse than she already does. So I don't think she was maliciously thinking, if I give this speech and beg for her forgiveness in front of people, she have to forgive me, because otherwise it would be an awkward situation for her. But I think that could have been how it came across to Maeve, and the fact that Erin was, saying, I've struggled too, I've done this, I've done that, and that probably rubbed, off the wrong way on Maeve, because she's been through shit, and she was the one who was left behind. So that's a complicated situation, but I think Maeve has started to realise that hopefully Erin's intentions are good, and she is doing really well, and she took the first step, I guess, getting her to paint her nails and stuff. So I think they're going to rebuild that bond, hopefully. We'll see. But I liked the kind of steps that those two were taking. And now that Maeve got that text from Otis, there's a whole confusion there. I imagine that's not going to be sorted straight away because drama. So is that going to just push her closer to maybe hanging out with someone like Isaac? Or, maybe it would normally be Amy, but Amy's also dealing with her own stuff. So maybe that's where they're going with the Isaac thing. Because I was wondering when they first introduced them, what are these brothers here for? And maybe it's this. But I liked everything with that as well. And what should we talk about next? Oh, the Jean and Jakob situation. I'm glad that Jean was very quick. Oh, not as quick as she could have been, but still, the very next episode she told him that she'd kiss Remy. And a very reserved reaction to it from him, but he's not one, I think, to properly lose his temper, is he? Which is nice. But I understand her frustrations with him, because he has made himself so comfortable, and he's just like, well, we're in a relationship. And it's like, well, that's not a free pass to just do whatever you want to her house. And she didn't ask him to do all this, and she did say, I have this meeting, and he still carried on and made the noise. So I can understand that frustration, and I don't know if that's just going to feed into her being like, you know what, I am not a relationship person, it's just not going to be how this is. But at least she was kind of honest with him. And with the couple, I think they are kind of showing, you know, the truth of after the honeymoon phase is maybe done. But we'll see. I still hope they can patch things up, but I think they just need to reset some boundaries about, you know, the intimacy that they share and how much of that spills into each other's homes, for example, because it's not like they're moving in together or anything. But I think Jakob kind of treated it like that. Maybe that's how he's just used to, you know, living with his wife, and that's how things were. And this is the first person he's been with since his wife, so maybe there's just a bit of crossover there that he just needs to work out and work through. But we'll see. At least Jean ripped the band-aid off and told him about the kiss, so I'm hopeful that they can work, you know, through that, but we'll see. And I also liked Jean then coming for those guys at the end and supporting Otis a bit when we found out that Remy had, you know, lost another wife because he cheated again. Oh damn, I'm running out of camera space, I need to wrap this up quick. But I liked everything they kind of did with that, her supporting them, because I think those kind of feelings were coming back from, you know, the initial separation of Otis's parents, and it happened in the same way. Otis saw what this relationship collapsing seemingly did to his dad. He didn't want to kind of follow in his father's footsteps again, I guess. I think he's a bit ashamed of what Remy does and his sex addiction stuff. And hopefully he's aware of it. I'm hoping he will seek help for it now. Maybe this is the big wake-up call, but the fact that he didn't want to really be that vulnerable, and the fact that he even broke down at all, I think that does show some kind of guilt and remorse about his behaviour, so maybe he can work through that. But Otis just didn't want to, you know, have the relationships like his father had, so he chose Ola over Maeve, and that's going to cause some hell, especially because straight away Ola was like, I want to break up. So that's a bit awkward, but it's cool to see Ola kind of still finding herself a bit, and Lily's reaction isn't the most promising start, but, you know, never say never. Hopefully maybe they can explore the Ola and Lily thing. I feel like there was clearly something there, but we're like just over halfway through the season, so people can't be happy with each other just yet, you know. Need to cause a bit more drama first. But I think Otis and Ola, you know, I think it was always going to be on borrowed time, really, that relationship. So I think Ola tried to end it as gently as she could. It was just, you know, the amount of circumstances surrounding the fact that he just texted Maeve that he couldn't see her again and all of that. Classic TV show drama. So we'll see where that goes, but I like how they were setting up the downfall of that whole thing with Otis not wanting to, you know, be the man that his father was. And Eric also opening up to Otis about Adam, but Adam's just clearly not in a place right now to be open to anyone else about his sexuality, just Eric. So if that day ever comes, I think those two probably will then get together, but we had that seed of doubt with Eric now, and he realises, I think, that, you know, what he wants out of a relationship he can't have with Adam until Adam's ready for that, and he's still working that out. So Raheem is very proud and open in being with Eric in front of anyone, so that's kind of where that's gone for now. But also Otis just being concerned for Eric about the whole Adam situation when he finally told him about it. I thought that was very mature. You know, it's a complex thing with how Adam used to treat Eric. And can people change? Can people not? They kind of had that running through the episode as well. So we'll see what happens with it. And just the whole idea of like relationships falling apart. I think that was a big theme this episode. Or strained relationships, things like that. A lot of relationships kind of fell apart, so as a theme, they explored that well with the characters. And then I have like a minute left. So Jackson and Viv, I love their dynamic so much. I like that they're still kind of helping each other out. Provided a bit more light-hearted comedy in the episode, which I felt was probably needed because it was quite dramatic. I don't know if it will work out with Vivian and the guy from Game of Thrones. I have to wait and see. But I quite like Jackson and Vivian. What she was kind of saying, like, oh, guys like you don't see girls like me. Is that going to be setting up for something, maybe? I feel like those two would be adorable together, but as long as, at the very least, they continue like a really strong buddy friendship between the two, which I adore, I'd be happy to see and where it all leads, one way or another, as long as we get more scenes with those two. And the friendship and the dynamic there, I'm more than happy because I love them helping each other out and opening up to each other a bit. It's cool to see that growth and to have Jackson, after he broke up with Maeve, I think he was a bit lonely and isolated, a bit separated from everyone else going on. Now he has a way back into a more social life and new things to focus on, which I love. And the same with Vivian. She was even saying, I didn't have time for friends, but now she does, and it's wholesome. So I like the growth with those two. But yeah, overall, another really fantastic episode. I love what they're doing with all the characters and the stories. Can't wait to see what's going to go next. My camera's on 0 minutes, so hopefully this doesn't cut off. And yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Until next reaction, thanks for watching.